Yo, what is going on, guys? It is midnight and you can hear my chair moving around. I need to get a new one. What is going on, guys? It is midnight and today we'll bring you in for another video. Now, in today's video, we are doing something a bit different, something quite a lot of you guys have been requesting on the Mass for the Dead side of the community, and that is actually to kind of tell you guys about some units that are coming to the game later on down the line and whether or not you should summon for them. I have approached this differently. This video is gonna, or this, kind of video is gonna have 5 parts, I would say. One for technical, power, speed, heart, and intelligence. So all the different type-ins. I'm gonna go through the top 3 units in that type-in with a honorable mention in each one. Today's video is gonna be about the technical. So for those of you that don't know, are the blue units. These are units that are all not in the game yet, and that are going to be coming in the future. For things like power, for example, I'm just going to spoil it now. There is going to be talk about Demiurge, the samurai one, because he is probably one of the best ones in the game, so he's probably going to make it in the top 3 list. However, on technical, we don't actually have any units that are in the game that are in the top end of the game. So you will see units that are in the game at the moment on set typing list. But at least like if you want to improve on that unit, then there's a few other options. But if you have that unit, then you're kind of set in that department, really. So technical units, the honorable mention that we have is actually Momonga in the swimsuit. Now this unit is actually very new. Overall, just kind of briefly talk about him. The reason why he's honorable mention is because he has got, he has got really good stats, high attack stat, high defense, pretty high HP for a damage dealer, and reasonably high speed, once again, as a damage dealer. Now, he's a magical attacker. He has 2 things really good about him, besides from his stats. One is he has a farming skill, so 5 MP, pretty big damage skill. And considering it's water on a technical type, that's very good. So when you go up against power units, water, ice, they tend to do more damage to those power units. So keep that in mind. That's a very good skill to have. Skill 1 is a bit of a bummer. You do have a 35% chance to stun the enemy, but again, it's not really what you want to be using with this unit. The 4 MP skill does big water damage, lowers magical defense, lowers speed, and the speed that gets lowered is quite significant if you do ask me, to be fair. In terms of passives, he's got really good passive skills, increasing his damage that he does with his skills and his basic attacks. And last but not least, his overdrive is reasonably good, considering it lowers the enemy's attack. Now this is only on 1 unit, but the fact that it does flame, wind, and water, that's also really good. So you have a higher chance to do more damage with those skills, especially with that 75% elemental rate. And it also lowers critical, but then again, that's quite minor. Now, in my opinion, the 3rd best technical unit in the game is actually a healer, and that is Rem. Now, for those of you that don't know, Rem is a very solid healer, single target healer. And in terms of stats for healing role, she has got one of the best stats for healer in the game, besides from Regina, Nazarick one. And overall, she has got really good speed, really good defense, really good attack, HP, low attack, but you don't need that on a healer. Main thing that makes this unit so good and so high up on the tier list is the fact that she has a 3 MP heal skill, which is pretty much a full HP heal, right? 8,200 or 8,190 if you want to get really technical. That is pretty much a full heal when you think about it. Most units will not go past 10k HP with said relics. So obviously the fact that they still have to be alive when you use a healing skill, I doubt they're going to be too much lower than 1,000 HP. So you'll be able to get them up to like 9k, and depending on when you heal them, really depends on how much of HP you'll get. The other thing that makes this unit so good is she has a passive set of very good, considering what role she fills. She has 10% HP regen, and also considering the fact she doesn't have AoE healing, like you don't have to worry about healing yourself because you have self-healing, and you don't have to put Momonga Relic on to do that. You do have plus 10% defense, which again is also going to make you survive a bit longer in the off chance that you do not have a tank, or if your tank doesn't actually have a taunt up, then she will, stay alive a bit longer if she does take a hit. Overall, really good unit. Relic I would recommend to place on this unit. I mean, I'm going to say this with every single healer, every single tank, is Eye of the Sadist. If you have Eye of the Sadist, I would definitely recommend to put that on Rem. Now, the second best technical unit, in my opinion, is actually Zesti. I would also argue she's probably the best technical unit. Between her and the first one, which I think most of you would know by now, whoever follows the JP side of things, I would say they're very close, because one is kind of like a hit or a miss. This one is guaranteed every time, but let's get into it. Zesti has got very, very good stats. One of the best stats averages in the game. Like, I think she's like in the top portion of it. She has every single skill is like good in one way or another. She has got the best passive set in the game, and I think anyone could argue with that. Like, no one could argue with that. Like, that is very good passive set, and Overdrive is reasonably good as well. First skill is 5 MP. It lowers attack by 20% and speed by 20%. You have a make them miss you when they attack by 20% and 15% defense down. All of this for 3 turns for the cost of 5 MP. Now, this is probably the only thing about her kit that I would say is a bit meh. The fact that this is 5 MP. If this was 4 MP, I would argue that this unit is probably top 5 in the game. Maybe like top 4. But because it is 5 MP, she does lose a bit of value from that. But it's a bit expensive. But 4 MP, this would be really good. 3 MP, you get 20% overdrive charge. You get 35% attack, 25% speed to yourself, and plus 1 evasion, which is 20% dodge. And yeah, nothing more to say about that skill. That skill is very good, basically. I will probably use it when I do get her. Single target skill has a 130% physical damage, 20% attack down, 24% critical down to 1 enemy, all for the cost of 3 MP. So that is a pretty high damaging single target damaging skill with some good debuffs on it, mainly the minus 20% attack. The crit is not really that good, but it can save you sometimes from getting one-shotted in certain content. Now, passives, as I said before, she has probably got the best passive set in the game. Like, I don't think anyone's got better passives than her. She has plus 10% HP regen, plus 2 evasion, plus that, obviously that buff will make it 33% dodge that she could have. But she will always have 27 dodge when she plays without a relic, right? So that's really good. Plus 10% physical attack as well. So overall, her overdrive, her passives are very, very good. Arguably the best in the game. Overdrive does shining, dark damage, AoE with minus 30% defense. Now, there's not too much to say about this, but that is still very good, regardless of if you're in later chaos fields or if you're in earlier ones. You can clear the early ones a lot faster, as well as the later ones. But you can also make the later ones a lot easier because you can kill them a little bit easier than without that 30% down. And if there's a few enemies, then you got dark and shining damage. Last but not least, probably the best technical unit, again arguably second or best, is Shizu. Now, Shizu is really 50-50. She's got really good stats, right? The only thing that lets her down is her speed stat. That is really low speed to have for a damage dealer, especially considering you want to kill an enemy before they can attack that turn, which Shizu has the potential to kill an enemy all by herself pretty much, right? But with that speed down, you're going to have to find a relic that will boost her speed up so that you can kill that enemy before they even get a chance to attack you. I'm not going to talk too much about her first and second skill. Now, they're not really the main part of her kit. They don't really give her any of the vision that all you guys need to see on this unit. The main reason why this unit is good is her passives and her third skill. Now, her third skill deals 3 to 7 hits of 39%, plus the passive is 49. So each hit does, let's just round it up to 50% damage, right? She's guaranteed to do 3 hits of that. So for 4 MP, she's minimum going to do 150% damage to one enemy. Has the potential to do 350% damage to one enemy with that 7 hits. Now I done some maths and I worked out that if Shizu lands 5 hits, she is the second highest single target damage dealer in the game, behind Nazarick Entema, but in front of Nazarick Aura by like literally 200 damage. And I think Nazarick Entema will beat them both by like 1,000. And if she lands 6 or 7 hits, she is the strongest single target damage dealer in the game by 2,000 from Entema if it's 6 hits, and by 5,000 I think it was if she lands 7 hits. Now 5,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a lot. And this is without relics or anything like that. This is just straight up skill with the damage and the passives that they have. So yeah, very good damage potential. Has evasion 27%, same as Zesti. 10% magical attack, same as Zesti's physical, but 5% speed over having 10% HP regen. You can kind of see the difference in the passives overall. And overdrive is pretty shitty. But yeah, guys, that is basically all the technical units I would recommend to summon for in that kind of order. Now, I should have probably said this at the start. This is all my opinion, personal opinion. You can choose to follow it, you can choose to ignore it. I don't really mind. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, Zesti and Shizu, I'd definitely say are the best two. But I'd say, depending on if you're going to use an aim relic on Shizu to buff that, you know, chance to hit up, then I mean, it's entirely up to you. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment in below if you'd rather want to see power units next or speed units, so red or green. And I'm going to save heart and intelligence for the last part of the series. Now, I'm going to try and get these videos out as soon as I can, because who knows when these units are coming out. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. Take care and peace out.